We're back. Technology is what it is, so we're so happy that you are willing to join us, and we are having such a wonderful conversation here with Monique. So this will be part two of the key to abundant marriage is healing core wounds with Monique Gaffney. She'll be joining me here shortly, and we'll finish up with part two. For some reason, everything just went blank, and we lost the sound. And hello, Stephanie. Thanks for jumping on with us again. This was such a great conversation, and we definitely want to finish and hear the rest of what Monique has to share with us, which is so powerful. I love what you were sharing, Stephanie, about your experience and how this has been something that you've personally walked through, and it is so good. And I love that you were able to really note that having a partner is also having a partner with core wounds, and being able to recognize that can really transform the way we perceive them, because we often have kind of a view that they should be together and have their, all their stuff healed. And we can, hey, there she is. I'm bringing her back on camera. So to have you with us, Monique, and I'm so glad you're joining back on here so we can finish up. Oh, that was so powerful. We just kind of got a little bit of a techno, but let's keep going. This is good stuff. So thank you. So yes, if you can finish sharing what we were talking about, the financial stuff is huge in the marriage. And I love that you're bringing this out, because I think so many are benefiting. So carry on.
You're saying we marry the wound, right? So we marry the wound that's showing itself to heal in us. And until we recognize that, it's going to feel like a battle. It's going to feel like we're getting nowhere. It's going to feel like the person isn't hearing us, and we're stuck in that same pattern, because ultimately my highest self, the highest version, the best version of Monique, doesn't want to be that spender and spending all the money and living paycheck to paycheck and wondering what's going to happen next. Like, I don't want to feel that way. It's my wound that's pushing me to feel that way, because it's what I've done my whole life, right? And I didn't have a way out. I didn't know how to do anything different. I could watch all the videos on saving money and track my spending and all that. It doesn't matter until you heal the wound. None of that stuff will work, because you have to go back to the place of, where did this start? What triggered this in me? Where was that belief implanted in me? Why is it there? And who do I need to forgive? What do I need to let go? We can't just wounds, the big common misconception, and the way the world tells us to, like, release the baggage, release what's no longer serving you. I wish it was that easy. It's not that easy, right? And that's why we come into these relationships and marriages and we think like, oh, I'm just going to release what's no longer serving me. That's no longer serving me. And I'm just going to be this new person. But it doesn't work that way. Like, we have to really dig in.
As much as we wish it would.
Right? Yeah, I wish it was that easy. But it's not. That's why the world is hurting so badly, because they feel themselves saying, I want to be the highest version of myself. I know this isn't who I truly am, but I don't know how to do anything different. This is just who I am. It's really not. It's what the beliefs that's been implanted in us. Those are the core wounds. It's really going back to figuring out where those come from, start healing those wounds with the 6 keys, with the process that God gave to me, and doing that work. But at the same time, when you're in a partnership, in a marriage, not expecting the person to have to be right alongside you at the same time. Ideally, that would be amazing, right? But we're all on a growth journey and a growth path. And most of the time, one person's going to be 5 steps ahead of the other person in their growth journey. So it's also releasing that expectation, but not quitting, not saying, I'm giving up. I'm way ahead of my partner, and he still doesn't get it, because my husband and I were on that same thing. So in the meantime, here I am healing all this, and then I'm over here saying, but he's not doing the work either. He's not healing, and I'm growing, and I'm seeing all of this stuff. I see our marriage in a new way, and I want him to, like, take those glasses off and see what I see, like what we could really be together, how powerful we could really be together if he would start doing the deeper healing work too, and seeing these wounds. Well, let me tell you guys, it literally took us. I mean, I'm telling you, we've been together almost 10 years, and we just had our 8th anniversary, marriage anniversary, in July. And it was a month after, I think, so it's only been like 2 months. I literally had the hardest conversation I've ever had with him in doing a piece of my core wound healing work. I told him I knew where my money wound came from. I shared with him where it was deep seated, you guys. It stemmed when I was 5 years old. There was something that happened when I was 5 years old. And the thing is, it had nothing to do with money. When I was 5 years old, a girl bullied me and stole my candy. Every Sunday after church, she bullied me and stole my candy and took it from me. That wound told me that I need to spend all of my money before anybody takes it from me. So I can spend it, spend it, spend it, because if I
Wow.
don't spend it, someone's going to take it from me. Okay. So you guys be very conscious that the money wound until you dig in so deep and figure out where it came from, you will not fully heal it, and you'll be stuck in this pattern. So once I did my work, I figured out what the wound was, where it came from, and then I shared it with him and I told him that story. And I was in tears because I had to go back to being 5-year-old little Monique who was bullied for her candy after church. That shifted the trajectory of my entire life, of how I felt about money, of how I felt about people. Like, it shifted everything. I was this innocent
Powerful.
girl going to church, loving everything that she was, learning to love Jesus. Like, that was like my Jesus calling moment. It was just amazing. And all of that was shifted because of someone else's wounds. Someone obviously stole from that little girl and showed her how to bully people, because hurt people, right? So I had to forgive her, work through all of that stuff. And then I finally, 10 years into my relationship with my husband, 8 years of struggling with money and feeling like, the way I felt like he was holding money from me, because now I work from home and our money was very separate, even all of this time. Like, I felt like we weren't still a unit together. And I had to share all of that with him. I had to say those hard things that I'd been harboring and holding in and not wanting to say to the person that I love the most and trust the most on this earth. I had to, like, finally get my girl balls up and say it, because it was that pivotal moment of, if I don't say these things to him, nothing will change. I will keep feeling the way I'm feeling, and we would definitely be destined to split ways and either get divorced or live that, ships passing in the night marriage. That doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to be, and I get it. There are seasons of that happening, just because life can be life sometimes. But there's also a conscious choice of when we're doing that, because we're choosing not to share the wounds, to say, this is how I need to heal, and I want to come together and heal this together, right? So we have a choice to say those things, and those are hard, hard conversations. They're hard enough to do it with ourselves, because healing core wounds is like the hardest work we will ever do. It is absolutely the most transformational thing you could ever do in your life. It's a hard decision to make. So it's hard enough to do it for yourself. For me to go within, figure out where the wound came from. Why did I always struggle with money? And really, like, figuring that puzzle out and then verbalizing it to my partner and saying, this is why me and money don't work out. And now I also saw his money wound very clearly. And then I saw how the money wounds together formed their own wounds in our marriage, right? It's crazy, you guys.
Powerful.
It's really powerful,
So
right?
powerful.
And
Oh,
work together to heal that together. Well, what's amazing is it was a hard conversation. We both finally said things that we'd been both harboring, because it gave us both the safe space to say these things in a place of love, not of arguing, of actually listening and hearing each other. This is how I'm wounded. This is how I'm wounded. How do we fix this? Because the one thing that he said that was most important to me is, because I told him point blank, I was like, I cannot feel like this anymore. I cannot live like this, feeling like this in this marriage anymore. I can't. So something has to give. Something has to be done to shift the way I'm feeling. And I know you're feeling the same way. So we both, and the one thing that he said was, well, we're not getting a divorce and we're working through this. So we're in this. So what do we need to do to fix this? How do we fix this that feels good for both of us, that we're both on a healing path? Because a lot of it for him was trust issues. The wound that I brought in with my money wound, and then his money wound, for me spending all the money, it relates to him. That was trust issues, right? So now I can't trust her with our money because she's just going to spend it all. And then for me, he's saving all the money and I don't feel good, safe to ask him, let's go on this trip. Let's go do these things together, because he's just going to shut down and tell me no. So the wounds that we brought in together, both the money wounds, right? Very different perspective of what the money wound was, because we both experienced it differently in our lives, came together and formed a whole new wound in our marriage around money, right? It's so crazy.
huge.
Yeah, huge,
Huge.
huge. But most
Wow.
people don't see and understand that. And they just think,
Yeah.
he's not hearing me. I'm saying this, it's over. I'm done. I can't do this anymore, right? There's always something bigger that needs to be healed. And until both people are ready to sit down, you do the hard work of verbalizing it. It's the hardest thing to do is really say, this is who I am in all of my nakedness. I'm wounded in this way. I'm hurting in this way, and I'm ready to heal. This is how can we do this together that feels good for us both? Not that like he was trying to like just make me feel better and he'll do whatever. It needed to feel good for him too, because that wouldn't feel good for me to just have him like say, okay, what do you want? I'll give you all the money. Right. Here's all the money. That doesn't feel good to me either, because the highest form of Monique wants to heal. I don't want to keep spending all the money. I do want us to save, and I do want us to, go on vacations together, but I want it to feel good for both of us. And so in that, we came to a happy compromise where it's allowing me to work with our money in a safe way where I can see what I'm spending. We can see it together. We have a joint account together. I'm being responsible with our money, and he can learn to trust me with our money again, right? That's the healing process of coming together, figuring out a happy compromise where we can both work together, both start healing together. And now our relationship is growing in a completely different way. I mean, you guys, it shifted. Healing that one wound shifted everything. It shifted our intimacy, and not just like in bed, but like conversational intimacy, like our loving intimacy. We're suddenly like touching and holding each other again. And like, I mean, just on the couch, like we're very separate. These divides of core wounds they will create valleys in our marriages that we don't even realize. We can feel them, but they're in every aspect. It's just like it's a crater that just breaks the valleys up. It's like the Grand Canyon. Core wounds are like the Grand Canyon in our lives and our marriages. And we can bring those divides together, but it starts with healing, and it starts with us. Like, you have to start doing the work yourself. You can't expect the other person to do it too or heal also. It's just focus on you. Go within, focus on you, start doing your healing work. That will shift the energy completely. And then you can come together as a unit and saying, how can we heal together?
Beautiful, beautifully said. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Monique. Again, I sure hope. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
My daughter wants a ride home from her nail appointment. I told her, don't call between 10 and 10:30, and now it's 10:40, so she's calling. Oh dear.
Of
But we're
course.
having so much fun that we're going to finish out. So, Stephanie, I noticed some questions coming through. I would recommend that you grab the URL and pop this in her inbox. And for anyone who's listening, do exactly that. I'm sure you have friends, you have daughters, you have family members, maybe someone that you really care about that's struggling in some of these areas. Please grab the URL of this live cast and just literally drop it in their inbox. It often gives them a chance to keep it more private so they don't feel like it's being publicized if they're struggling, which we all like to keep, our marriage things kind of behind closed doors. And so we totally understand, and we want to just support each other. And so anyone that is willing to share this on their Facebook page, though, please share it out with the world. There are so many women out there looking for excellent resources and supports, and that's exactly why we're here. Monique and I are on the same journey, really, in many respects, to really serve on this level. And this was such a powerful insight. One thing I wanted to mention about what she said is that she took the lead. She chose to step into her queen and really own that it was her journey to really make that healing happen within. And she was waiting for her partner. But I do want you to know that more than 80% of marriages that are able to stand the test of time, it's the woman that takes the lead position. And I love to think of it as like that chessboard where the queen is just so incredibly powerful, but we often don't own it. We often don't own our own power. And if we could really recognize that the men will follow. They are so inspired by us. They're wired that way by God himself to be inspired by us to take the lead. And when it comes to spiritual matters, when it comes to what brings joy, happiness, peace and good things into the world, the women need to take the lead and yet be inspiring for our partners and bring them along. And you'll notice that that's exactly how Monique described it. Such a powerful thing. And I love that you talk about how hurt people and healed people heal people. That one is just, I would love it somebody to type that in the chat for me, if you will, because that's such a great thing for all of us to remember. And how money wounds are transferred differently in how we kind of just have our own versions.
Yeah.
And so much of life of being effective is being able to unravel that. Powerful, powerful. Another one was until debt do us part.
Yeah.
That was one of my books. You're like looking for resources. I'm like, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And that's why in the old days, it was like, in poverty and health and sickness
Yeah.
and, health, because there was so much of that, like we're parting because of this. And yet that's the very thing that helps us develop into the humans that we want to be and become the powerful, loving, forgiving people that we know we truly are, if we're just willing to go a little deeper and dig in there and find out what it is that's causing this disconnect. Because the more we're disconnected with our own stuff, the more we're going to be disconnected with the people we love. It's just real. We have to really own that. And then the last one I wanted to mention was the most successful people are willing to have these difficult conversations. And I just want to one more time say thank you, Monique, for owning that, for really helping us see how powerful we can be when we step into that. Thank you, Shannon. Appreciate you. Yes, we can do a watch party. Maybe I need to spend some time with you, Stephanie, and make sure we learn about that. We will also be posting this on all of our channels. If there's any questions that I have not answered as of now, because we got to close up shop for a minute, but any questions that I haven't answered, I'll come through and of course, Monique, you're welcome to come in and, help us kind of support these lovely ladies in our chat. And again, feel free to reach out to Monique, reach out to me, let us help you, let us support you. You had questions about how do we know what wounds to address? How do we know where to even start? And that's why we're here. Just absolutely. Thank you, Shannon. Appreciate you. You're so welcome, Jenny. Such a joy to be here for you and with you. And of course, we're here. We're partners in crime, but we're also partners in healing in that we love to serve in this capacity and give you the tools that you're looking for. Answer the questions that you have about these topics. And that's exactly why we're here. And we love to connect with you on a personal level. So do reach out, keep connected. We will, again, be sharing this everywhere that we can on YouTube, on all of our channels, and it will be published in a podcast as soon as we get it edited and set up. If you have any other questions about sharing, we would love to have your daughter and your friends and your sisters join our club here. Yeah. These amazing women coming together to support each other in this most important topic, because marriage absolutely affects every area of our life on every level. So super, super happy to have Monique with us. I want to just wrap up here with last comments. So if you have any more you'd like to share, Monique, feel free to tell us your last parting thoughts.
Oh, parting thoughts. I don't know. Maybe I need to.
I know it's just so good that it's hard to let go, because we want to share more.
I'm telling you guys, I can talk about this forever. Actually, that's my job, is to talk about this forever. If you like about that, I'm here to support you in any way. If you have questions or are looking to start this healing journey and really digging into your core wounds and really shifting your marriage, your life, it will shift your entire life, I promise you, but your marriage will definitely be transformed because of this. If you're looking to just add me as a friend, if that's all you want to do, I have a course that you can do. It's kind of DIY, do it on your own. I work one-on-one with women. So I'm here to serve you in any capacity. If you're local I'm in Southern California. I'm actually doing a workshop next month in October. It's only $25. So if you want to join me with that, just come on over and ask me for that information too. But really, I'm here to help and serve you in any possible way. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, so follow me or add me wherever you're at. And I'm looking forward to serving you and to seeing you guys in my little online world. And I'm grateful. So thank you so much, Dina Beth, for the opportunity to share this work. I love you guys.
I love you too, and thank you. And Monique, if you'll just drop in all of your contact information in the chat, I'll bring it into the live, like the intro, so everyone have access of how to connect with you, along with her amazing program that's coming up in October. Highly, highly recommended, as well as her, her coaching program that she offers, which is also gangbuster, best that you can find. We also have an option for the Queen work as well. It's called Love Your Life Challenge, and it's also coming up for an 8-week program. Fabulous content that is loaded with exactly what you ladies are looking for those of you that had questions. So reach out to us. We would be delighted to talk to you about that and see if we can't serve you exactly the way you're looking for. So again, we'll leave all our contact information. We'll let you, know how to connect with us here on Facebook and otherwise. And we're so happy to see you getting answers that you were looking for today. feel free to share this out. Know that we love to help as many as we can. That's why we're here. So have a
Thank
beautiful day, everyone. We sure love you, and we're privileged to have you with us today. Blessings to you all. Take
you.
care, and
Bye.
bye-bye.